Your roadmap to the latest in auto. Welcome to Highway Herald. On March 27, 2025, the Trump administration hit the gas on trade policy, announcing a 25% tariff on all imported vehicles, putting Mexico directly in the line of fire. The move rattled the tightly knit auto industries of the US, Mexico, and Canada, built on decades of integration. As the tariffs kicked in on April 3rd, leaders scrambled for control. From tense diplomacy to factory fallout, here's how this North American trade standoff is shifting into high gear. Number 5. The trade policy that threw the North American auto engine into overdrive. President Trump's declaration wasn't just a subtle shift in trade, it was a full-throttle move aimed at reshaping U.S. industrial dominance. Packaged as a bold attempt to revive American manufacturing, the sweeping 25% tariff on imported vehicles came with justifications ranging from unfair trade practices to national security concerns and border control. But while the rhetoric roared with confidence, the immediate response from the auto world was anything but smooth. Major U.S. automakers saw their stock prices nosedive. Assembly plants dependent on cross-border parts flows slammed on the brakes. Mexico and Canada, vital cogs in the tri-nation automotive machine, scrambled to adapt and prevent further disruption. Mexico especially felt the jolt. In 2024 alone, the country exported nearly $50 billion in vehicles and components to the U.S., sustaining close to 1 million jobs. The tariffs now threaten to choke that output, particularly in manufacturing hotspots like Toluca and Saltillo, where Stellantis has already started idling production. Though the USMCA protects some trade, non-compliant parts remain exposed. And while Canada wasn't directly targeted, its own supply chains are tightly wound into the same framework, prompting Ottawa to prepare countermeasures and warn of deeper economic instability ahead. Number 4. Mexico's strategic shift, precision over retaliation. President Claudia Sheinbaum isn't taking the bait for a full-blown trade war. Instead, she's showing the composure of a veteran racer navigating a chicane, measured, deliberate, and focused on control. While political pressure at home simmers, Sheinbaum has leaned into diplomacy, pushing to preserve the economic engine that powers both Mexico and its northern neighbor. Under her watch, Plan Mexico is revving up, a bold initiative to reduce import dependency and ramp up local production. A standout example? The launch of Tariffs electric buses, built with 70% Mexican-sourced components. These buses aren't just a symbol of mobility, they're a badge of industrial pride. Behind the scenes, Mexico's diplomacy is running hot. Economy Secretary Marcelo Ebrard has opened back-channel talks in Washington, aiming to defuse the auto tariff situation before it escalates. And while retaliation isn't off the table, any countermeasures will be targeted and restrained, potentially hitting sensitive U.S. exports like agriculture and electronics. Interestingly, Mexico's poise is gaining its fans in global manufacturing circles. German automakers are already eyeing a shift south, exploring Mexican production hubs as a way to stay inside the USMCA guardrails. Sheinbaum's cool hand might just be giving Mexico a competitive pole position in the long game. Before we delve deeper, we'd appreciate it if you could subscribe to Highway Herald. Your support fuels our passion to create more content like this. Now, let's explore number 3, Canada's Counterpunch, tariffs and teamwork. While Mexico opts for the long game, Canada is coming out of pit lane with tires smoking. Under the direction of Prime Minister Mark Carney, Ottawa has unleashed its own 25% retaliatory tariff, targeting U.S. vehicles that don't meet USMCA guidelines. It's a direct message. Canada won't just coast along while the U.S. rewrites the rules. Though smaller in scale than Mexico's auto industry, Canada's sector is no less interconnected with U.S. production. Carney has framed the tariffs as a necessary defense mechanism, one with overwhelming public support. Boycotts of American goods are spreading across the provinces like wildfire, boosting Carney's political horsepower as he barrels toward re-election. And in a bold strategic draft move, Carney is pushing for a Canada-Mexico alliance, a coalition designed to challenge U.S. tariffs with united diplomatic and economic force. Both leaders understand that the USMCA's future is riding on the edge of a knife, and a unified response may be their best shot at protecting the integrity of North America's auto network. Number 2, public sentiment and industry jitters. North America holds its breath. The fallout from the tariff bombshell continues to ripple across borders and disrupt assembly lines throughout North America. Stellantis has already slammed the brakes on operations at multiple plants in Mexico and Canada, triggering the temporary layoff of 900 workers across 5 U.S. facilities. It's a stark reminder of how tightly woven the North American automotive network truly is, where one policy decision in Washington can stall production thousands of miles away. Investor confidence has taken a noticeable hit on Wall Street. Market uncertainty is translating into volatility, with key indices swerving like a race car on slick pavement. In Mexico, public sentiment is riding a mix of patriotism and unease. A February poll showed 64% support for President Sheinbaum's diplomatic handling of the crisis, yet over 60% of citizens also said they would support a boycott of U.S. goods if the tariffs persist. Border businesses warn such moves could jam already strained supply chains. Meanwhile, partisan lines are drawn and the U.S. Democrats largely oppose the tariffs, while Republicans remain split. Still, President Trump is doubling down, hailing April 3rd as Liberation Day for American industry. Number 1. Future tense: diplomacy, diversification, and decisions on the horizon. What happens next could shape the future of North American trade, and with it, the direction of the continent's deeply integrated vehicle production. President Sheinbaum is expected to unveil Mexico's formal trade response to Congress on April 30th. Early reports indicate a plan to implement targeted tariffs in key sectors such as agriculture, electronics, and beverages. It's not an all-out trade war, but it signals that Mexico won't sit idly by. At the same time, Mexico is accelerating its diversification efforts. New trade relationships with European and Asian partners are being explored, but reconfiguring such a massive economic engine takes more than a quick downshift. For now, autos remain critical. Nearly 30% of Mexico's exports to the U.S. are rooted in the automotive industry. In Washington, there's little sign of retreat. While some insiders suggest the tariffs are a negotiating tactic, others believe they represent a lasting shift in U.S. trade philosophy. Still, hope hasn't stalled. Canada and Mexico continue to push for diplomacy, with Economy Secretary Marcelo Ebrard heading to Washington. As Prime Minister Carney noted, if North America weakens itself, no one wins. Final lap: Mexico's strategic steering in a turbulent trade race. Mexico's response to the sweeping tariffs has been nothing short of a masterclass in strategic restraint and economic foresight. While Canada launched immediate countermeasures, President Sheinbaum opted for a more measured path, choosing stability over spectacle. Her calm diplomatic stance has been paired with bold moves at home, including deeper investments in local manufacturing and clean energy innovation. The rollout of the Turbulent electric buses, built largely with Mexican-made components, now stands as a powerful symbol of resilience and industrial self-reliance. Instead of escalating tensions, Mexico has carefully drafted behind the chaos, keeping its sights on long-term positioning. It hasn't been easy. Supply chains remain strained, factories have hit pause, and the USMCA is under unprecedented pressure. But Sheinbaum's approach has helped Mexico avoid a more volatile fallout. Still, the race is far from over. The next phase of negotiations could very well define the future of trade across North America. What's your take? Can steady diplomacy withstand economic pressure? Is this the start of a new trade era? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, be sure to subscribe to Highway Herald for the latest vehicle updates and in-depth analyses. Your support helps us bring you the best in automotive content. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. You can now check out any of the videos on the screen. There's more exciting and informative content waiting for you.